Hey y'all, good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Sunday morning here. It is 11:06 and here we are once again with yours truly, the Broken Prophet, and we are getting ready to speak about spiritual protection. I know a lot of y'all have been asking me about that, and and I know we have our good friend, the sun, beaming through that window again, and y'all know I don't have a curtain. Please, y'all, nobody else has to comment and tell me, well, you know what, Prophet, why don't you buy you a curtain? I've been hearing that a lot. Maybe you need a woman's touch around there. Maybe I do. I don't know. But y'all like to come in and just change everything around. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just setting my ways. But anyway, we will battle through that light right there and get this talk done. Now I've titled this video "The Sermon to the Snake." A talk on hoodoo and the Bible and spiritual protection. Now, why did I call it the Sermon to the Snake? All right. Now we all know the story of the snake in the Bible and the role that it played. Yeah, I'm gonna read it to y'all. I got my sword right here. That's what we call it down here. We call our Bible our sword. Now, in case some of y'all, because I know a lot of y'all ain't picked up your word in a while, you ain't picked up your scripture, but we're gonna talk about hoodoo and the Bible. I'm gonna tell you where you can go. Look it up for yourself. Now, this is the book of Genesis, the first book of the Bible, for those of y'all that don't stay in your word that much. No judgment. This is chapter 3, and we begin at verse 1. It says, "Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, have God said, You shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest ye die. For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, no. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together, and made them, blah, blah, blah. Y'all understand the story after that. God came, saw they ate that motherfucker, and got mad. All right? Now, why did I title this The Sermon to the Snake? Especially when we talk about spiritual protection. See, a lot of y'all don't really need protection. You heard me say that last night. You just think you do. And see, the snake that comes and whispers to you is a lot of times in your own head. It's not out there. See, for the purposes of the scripture, this was a different spiritual entity, and we'll tackle that side of the snake later on in the video. But there's another side to the snake. It's that little devil that sits on your shoulder and says, "Go ahead and do it." Y'all wrestle with that snake every day. Every day y'all wrestle with that snake. That snake is the one, well, when you arguing with your loved one and y'all having relationship problems nowadays. That's why a lot of y'all reaching out. But that snake is the one that when you argue with your loved one and you biting your tongue damn near in two and you say, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say it. And then the snake on your shoulder say, go ahead and say it. You say, I ain't gonna say it. I'm gonna hold it in. Last time we got into an argument, I just let my mouth get away from me. So I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. 5 seconds later. I just think it's funny how, that's how y'all start these things. I just think it's funny how you let the snake win. That snake is also the one that sends you out to places you shouldn't go, with people you shouldn't be with, to do things you shouldn't do. Nobody's perfect. I do stuff like that all the time. Every day I say things I shouldn't say and do some shit I shouldn't do. But some of us will go out and do it, and then we want to play the victim role. Y'all have to excuse me. I don't know where this cough is coming from. But we play the victim role. And why do we play the victim role? Because society has taught us that. Society has taught us that the answers to all of our problems lie outside of us. And that the causes to our problems lie outside of us. It's not just that we are spoiled and want our own way, and when we don't get our way, we get mad about it and we can't control our emotions. Society says, no, you got an anger management problem. Society says, no, I understand that you like to drink a little bit too much. But instead of just saying, well, why don't you put the damn bottle down and toughen up a little bit, society says, oh, no, 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 no. You have that disease. And then the church says you have that demon known as addiction. No, you need to just, grab your nuts and say, I'm not going to drink no more. Go cold turkey. But that's neither here nor there. And so it is that lack of self-control that a lot of us has that has become our personal snake. That has become our personal snake. A lot of us feel like we need so much. Let me tell you, because I tell y'all about my friends. I like relating to y'all in this manner. All right. We all have that one friend, especially black folks now. We all have this one friend that is always in the struggle some kind of way. They always telling you about this kind of gun that's coming out. They always telling you, they always like, yeah, I need to find me a vest. And, all types of shit. And you start looking at them and go, where the hell are you hanging out? You might not need to go to them places that you need all these guns and shit. Because I don't go to them types of places much. But you look at them and go, where in the hell? Like, you might need to change your life around if you feel you need all this shit. Because, I don't carry a gun because I can go to Starbucks and shit. But a lot of us have gotten that way when it comes to spiritual protection because, once we start dabbling in things, once we awaken to spirituality, once we awaken to the Orisha, the Loa, the Impungo, whomever, and once we watch these movies and then we look down and we start practicing, we go, this shit is real. We start thinking, wow, this shit is real. Then all of a sudden everything becomes magical. Everything has a magical explanation. Again, that's society saying it's all outside of us. So when shit starts to befall you, automatically, oh, somebody's throwing at me. Somebody's hexing me. Somebody's cursing me. A lot of you guys have come to me for consultations. I told you flat out, you're not hexed. You ain't cursed. Ain't nobody throwing at you. What worker have you pissed off? What person do you know in spiritual circles knows enough to go to a worker to throw something at you? A lot of times it's just plain old bad luck, and you need a gut check and work your way through it. Somebody's, it's not that somebody's throwing at you because people in your church don't like you. It's because, you like to hug on everybody's man when you sashay through the church. Fellas, y'all do the same thing now. Want to hug on everybody's wife and then wonder why you don't get invited to the Super Bowl party. It's not always somebody throwing at you. Sometimes it's our own actions that cause these negative interactions around us. All right? But that's neither here nor there. I just felt I need to preach to y'all a little bit because y'all, we need to be accountable for our own actions a lot of times. It's not outside of us that it's not always someone throwing, it's not always negative energy or, y'all hoteppers out there, the negative vibrations. No, sometimes you just do fucked up shit. And we understand that spiritual law acts in concordance with physical law, which is all natural law, supernatural, more than natural. It's all natural law. For every action, there is an equal yet opposite reaction. All right? So a lot of times you were just reaping what you're sowing. So stop sowing some of this shit and you won't be reaping so much. Now, there are times when bad things happen to good people, which means you ain't sown a damn thing, but you are starting to reap something negative. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about, how to protect yourself against it. Now remember, some of the simplest things for spiritual protection, and you can do it really, really fast, really quick, and it's really effective, is changing that mindset. All right? You guys know these folks out here in the spiritual community, they hate me because I try to give y'all the shit for free that they try to sell you. I try to empower you while they try to keep you a victim. They tell you that, all you got to do is buy this. And all you got to do is order that. And everything will be all right. Because they, in doing that, they're keeping the power in their hands. They're the sellers. They're the tellers. They're not trying to make you strong, trying to make you workers. They just try to tell you everything will be all right just as long as my website is around. No more. That's why I came here, y'all. No more. Because I want to make you guys revolutionaries. I want to make you conquerors. I want you to realize the strength that's inside of you. So, one of the greatest ways that you can protect yourself spiritually is by understanding that no one can really fuck with you. And I know I'm cussing a lot in this Sunday, but damn it, this is what I feel right now. Because these folks hate me and a lot of them throw at me. But as y'all see, I'm still here. I'm still here. I've had people tell me that they were going to throw at me. And guess what? I didn't do a damn thing extra because I just wanted to see. I just wanted to see. Not saying I haven't been touched before, but I mean, the few times I have actually been spiritually hit, if I were to count on this one hand, I still have some fingers left over. But if I were to try to count how many times someone has attempted to throw at me, I'd have to use all my hands, my toes, stick my hand in my pocket for the extra one, 3, and borrow some of y'all's hands. And the reason it's not because I'm just that bad, it's just I understand that most of the people out here can't effectively hex or curse me. They can't. And just that amount of bravado, that amount of confidence, it translates into the spirit. It's like that old saying, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'll fear no evil, because I'm the meanest son of a bitch in the valley. So you got to cultivate that air of confidence. Stop being so afraid that someone's going to throw at you, and just understand that, hey, you ain't got shit. You ain't got shit. And just that amount of confidence will boost your spirit to the point that I mean, most of this stuff will bounce right off of you. You won't even feel it. You won't even know. You won't even know. So, stop being so afraid. Also, in concordance with natural laws as far as spiritual protection, guys, a lot of you are giving away too much of your problems. And in giving away so many of your problems, you're giving away your power. Now, y'all heard me talk about Bad News Ricky before, how he always complaining about stuff. And sure enough, Ricky always has something to damn complain about. Because he's always putting that type of energy out. And a lot of you, I'm looking at, you guys follow me on Instagram, and I'll click on your page and take a, look for a few seconds and go about my day. But I look at some of the things y'all post. Lord have mercy. I look at y'all's pages and I'm like, damn, who hurt you? Like, you need therapy. Who hurt you? No matter what I'm going through, you guys will never hear me just always constantly pumping out every bad thing that's going on in my life. Because remember I said the energy you put out there will sometimes manifest things around you. And I say that to say, stop putting out so much negative energy. Reverend Ike once told this story. And he told this story about visiting an aquarium. And he went to where they kept, I guess, the beluga whales or something. And he was surprised at how often they gave them checkups, pulled blood on them. And he was like, my God, I take my dog to the vet once a year. Y'all out here once a week checking on these things. And the keeper of the whales said, well, Reverend Knight, let me tell you something. A whale will swim around and never, ever, ever show that it's sick. It can be in immense pain. It can be deathly ill, but it will never show it. It's an evolutionary response. It's instincts. Because the whale knows from instincts that in the deep blue ocean, they're not throwing things out there. There's sharks out there. And if they show that they sick, here the shark come. So by the time a whale shows that it's sick, it's about to die. And a lot of you are walking around now constantly showing that you're sick. Constantly showing that you're having problems and issues. Stop that. Project an air of strength. and confidence. And you'll see that a lot of these problems that you're having, that you think you need spiritual protection for, are fading away. Now, here's the first work that I'm going to give you. And it's extremely simple. Because a lot of you are on social media and it's in concordance with natural law. When you smile for your pictures, show your teeth. That's an old hoodoo trick. Show your teeth when you smile for your pictures. Why is that? Why are you doing that? Imagine if you were walking down the street and there was an 80-pound Doberman Pinscher right there. And he was sitting there like this. You wouldn't say, oh, that dog has a pretty smile. No, you know that that is a threat and it is a warning. So when you are taking a picture, just smile with your teeth. Spiritually, that is a threat and it is a warning to any negative energy, negative vibration, negative spirit that might be sent to use that picture. Because y'all, I love working for y'all nowadays because y'all send me pictures of your boyfriends, your girlfriends, your boss and all this shit because it's all on their Facebook, Instagram, whatever. You just download it, print out, boop, and here I am working on them. But the picture with you smiling, showing your teeth, can revert back a lot of negative energy. Just like this right here. A toothy smile will work just as good as a reversible candle. Especially if someone is attempting to print that photo off and send it to somebody like me. All right? It's a threat. It is a warning. Let's talk about red brick dust for a second. Because the red brick dust is one of those things that y'all have seen in the Skeleton Key. And in that movie, they just sprinkle red brick dust in front of the doorway and, oh, I can't walk past it. Red brick dust does work to repel negative energy, negative people, violent situations that may come through your door. Yes, it does work, but not in that manner. Red brick dust is meant to be powdered down, mixed with a little urine, and then it's spread before your door. You scrub it in. Now, a lot of people are getting squeamish. Oh, urine. Why are we using urine? And use your first morning's urine, the strongest one. And you're like, well, why are we using that? Remember what I just said about natural law and how teeth being bared is a threat and a warning. Well, when a dog wants to mark his territory, what does he do? He lifts his leg. He might kick off a little dirt back behind him. Come on, y'all have seen them dogs do that. Wolves do the same thing. Bears, lions, and tigers all do the same thing. Why? Because that urine is that animal's essence, and it lets anyone else know that this territory right here has been claimed. Cross it if you want to. Fuck with it if you want to. But this one right here is mine. And to use your urine, and you're not pissing all over the place, y'all. Let's not be nasty. It's a couple of drops here and there. All right? Conveys that same energy spiritually. Now, the red brick dust has been in hoodoo for a long time. And it harkens back, because this is biblical. And it harkens back to the book of Exodus, when the children of Israel were still being held in Egypt, and the Lord was working his miracles. And this is near the end, and the Lord was like, we about to start killing some folks. All right. And look, let's turn to the book of Exodus. We're in Exodus. We're in chapter 12. When we're in the Old Testament. Chapter 12, and I'm going to start at verse 21. Then Moses called for all the elders of Israel and said unto them, draw out and take you a lamb according to your families and kill the Passover. And you shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the two posts with the blood that is in the basin, and none of you shall go out the door of his house until the morning. For the Lord will pass through to smite the Egyptians. And when he seeth the blood upon the lintel and on the two posts, the Lord will pass over the door, and will not suffer the destroyer to come into your houses to smite you. So basically, the Lord was sending the destroyer, the angel of death, down to the people. I mean, down throughout Egypt. And he's going to smite everyone's firstborn. But the children of Israel were instructed to paint their doorways with blood. And the Lord, seeing the blood, would instruct the destroyer, the angel of death, to pass over. Leave them alone. Them my people. Well, back on the plantation, we didn't have access to too many, Passover sheep and shit like that. But what we did have was Georgia red clay, which somehow became, we're using red bricks. And a lot of you are going on to eBay and all this other shit, and y'all are buying these red brick packets of red brick dust up. Y'all, this is a red brick. This one didn't cost me a damn dime. I was out walking, and I saw it, and I reappropriated it. It was not on my property. I reappropriated it. So it's free. So I apply a hammer to that later on because it's a little damp now. You can see that this wasn't a Rolling Stone. Some of y'all get that joke. It's got a little moss on it. So I'm going to apply a hammer to it, beat it to a pulp, mix a little of my urine with it, a couple of drops, not to be gross, spread it outside my door, scrub it in with my broom, and pray what I just told you. Pray out of the book of Exodus. And that is a spiritual protection. Another thing that you may do with that same verse is take a railroad spike. Take a railroad spike. And I know a lot of you are going to be lazy, but I'm telling you right now, get outside, y'all. I mean, it feels good to get out there, to gather your things. It feels good to apply that hammer to that brick, and you're beating the hell out of it, knowing you're going to be using that for spiritual protection. And with every fall of that hammer, that it's for all my enemies, seen and unseen. If I know you, I call you by name. Fuck you, God, fuck you. Fuck everybody that look like you. I mean, just take it out on it. You'll love it. All right? You'll love it. But go out there and collect this. And I lost my train of thought because I had an email come through. But anyway, guys, look. You can go out, collect a railroad spike. Just walk along the railroad. That train weighs thousands of pounds. So these spikes work their way up out of the ground. Sometimes you just reach down and snatch them right out. They're made of iron. There's nothing more fortifying and as strong as iron. Iron tempers iron. You can, if you had a wall built with it, very little will get past it. So you can take these, again, a drop of your first morning urine for threat, and because I believe the best defense is a strong offense. So instead of trying to build something and block everything, warn them all off. Let them know you come here if you want to. This ain't what you want. And you threaten them with that urine. You pray that same prayer, and you drive this iron spike into, you get 4 of them, and we'll drive one into each corner of your property. Now, invariably, one of you is going to ask me, well, what if I live in an apartment? What if I live in a high rise and all this other shit? You can just prop it up in the corners. All right? So for me, it'd be one here, one there, walk to the back of the house, one back there, one back there. And that will protect you. It will keep things from coming through. All right, guys, I actually have to stop this video. I know it was just getting good because I'm actually late for an appointment. And, I just saw the time. I'm late for an appointment. Guys, we will continue this video on spiritual protection because, I still have more to give you. I want to show you that you can place a picture of yourself in the Bible and it will protect you, and a few other things. So tune in for part 2. Which will come a little bit later. Hope you guys have enjoyed part 1. And we will keep this thing going. In the meantime, if you are not elderly, sick, or infirm, get your ass up, walk, go collect some railroad spikes, go and find your red brick. Don't spend $5, $10, $20 on a little bag of red brick dirt just because it came from a quote-unquote online hoodoo shop. just go out and reappropriate you one like I did. Discover you a brick. Hell, like, like they came over here and discovered America. Go discover you a fucking brick and use it to protect yourself. All right, y'all. Thanks everybody for tuning in. The comments and everything section will be open. Love you guys. Talk to you a little bit later.